It's your boy KP. Welcome back to another episode of Uncommon Opinions. Alright, now before we get started, I'm gonna need y'all to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. You heard me? Help me, help us do our thing. You feel me? Now let the intro drop.
If it don't make dollars, then it don't make sense. Gotta think.
I know I'm a little late to do this reaction, but this is a therapy session with Nick Cannon and Shanae Bryant. It's one particular part that I really want to dig into, right? To show the fallacies of how it is that she's not actually doing therapy sessions, right? And I don't know who the fuck gave her goddamn diploma, but we gonna get into this, alright? Now, this particular part of the segment is called emotional intelligence, right? Is at the 12 minute and 40 second mark. Okay, that's where I started at. So we gonna go ahead. We gonna watch this.
Things that are
so let me
hurtful.
ask you this: what tool could you use that could dissipate the hostility and bring y'all to a safe space? Because let me say this:
My
hold
feet.
on. No,
Walking out the
wrong
door.
answer.
I'm leaving.
That is
and
your,
then I will be back
but
when we
Nick,
are.
that is your dysfunctional norm.
Absolutely.
And that stemmed from what you said, abandonment. All abandonment does is make you create a little boy who was taught that he didn't matter, who was taught that he was not honorable, he was not respectful, he has very low value, who grows into a grown man, who projects that exact
why
value.
you gotta talk about me in my face
saying,
like this,
you know, who projects that exact value on every woman he comes in contact with. And so he overcompensates for things outside of him, not things inside of him, which makes him extremely codependent. And we're getting to that with all your baby mamas. We're waiting a little long to get into that.
We can get into it now.
The tool, we'll get there. The tool for dissipating, because I want everyone to know this tool. This is just not for you or for me. I mean, because I was the one that used to go hostile. I know I can go hostile and emasculate and say a lot of cutting things. And if a dude didn't pivot, it was going to be some pivoting if he didn't pivot.
So furniture was gonna be
so
moving.
I understand it. But the tool is emotional intelligence. The tool is what is he?
Now, while I do got some things to say about the beginning portion of what she just said, this is the part that I really had an issue with, right? Because granted, we can be here all day if I want to actually break down all the fallacies that she just said in that whole first 2 minutes. I mean, a whole minute of that of this portion, but I just want to get into the important shit. Cause you know my logo, y'all know my slogan. You know what I'm saying? Words got meaning, and this shit right here is gonna be a prime example why a lot of these motherfuckers need to go back to college, and a lot of these motherfuckers need to stay out of these goddamn liberal colleges. Cause
Emotional intelligence to you.
Emotional intelligence is knowing how to suss out the situation and understand and feel for someone else and have the empathy for the moment. That's why I'm removing.
which is the correct answer. The correct answer, right? That's the correct answer. Now watch how she convinced a lot of people that it ain't. Watch.
Myself.
Emotional intelligence is more about you. It's about being able to sit in what you feel. Hold on. Without the codependency of allowing this person's emotions to
Penetrate.
throttle. Penetrate, that's my word. To move my throttle.
Right.
That's called self-mastery, and that's emotional intelligence. And so when things get hostile, if I implement the emotional intelligence tool and I say, hold on, Nick, baby.
So now watch how, because realistically, because they were just talking about how he leaves when arguments gets to a certain point of octave, right? Nick Cannon says he usually walk out until things cool down. That's emotional intelligence. You do not engage in hostile territory. That is indeed emotional intelligence, not only by his definition, but by her definition. If he leaves because he sees that the other person is trying to, like he said, penetrate, right, his emotional barrier, right, and get him to act in a way that he normally would not such do, right, and he decides to leave, that's him showcasing his emotional intelligence, right? But I digress. Let's go ahead, keep it going.
I'm just trying to have a conversation with you. Like, seriously, there's a lot of pain between both of us, and I would rather us sit and exchange our pain and facilitate each other than us turn on each other and project more pain onto each other. Are you in a place to do that right now?
How is that gonna go in conversation with an angry black woman? Let's keep it $150. If we was to talk just how she talked towards an angry black woman, they would get even more mad that you're not mad at that moment. The fuck? I digress. Go ahead, cause she got the answers.
Or do you need some time before we can do that? That's emotional intelligence. 9 times out of 10, that de-arms the other person. If the person's not there yet, then it's still healthy for you to say, look, Doc, I want to do that, but I can't do that right now, so I need a moment. But that's still emotional intelligence on your end.
That's two emotionally intelligent people communicating.
But what is mental health? That's mental health.
When someone says, I'm putting this EQ aside, you know, and therefore I need to emote right now. If I said exactly what you said to someone that I was in discussion or
inflamed with, you're inflamed at that moment,
they're gonna say, I want to hear that shit. Like, I feel like this right now, and the tone in which you're talking to me is you're actually being passive aggressive. You're using all these big
and you're being
therapy
deceiving, and you're trying to make me feel inferior,
and you're gaslighting me and all of these other fascinating terms that we've come up with, when really, like, I'm just trying to find resolution. I always say it's not about who's right, it's about what's right. And even in those scenarios, if someone is enraged, if someone is feeling pain, they don't want to be like the thing that I always say with women: never tell a woman to calm down, never tell a woman to relax. You gotta let it happen. And the way, I'm not gonna tell you to calm down, I'm not gonna tell you to relax, I'm gonna leave and I'll be back when we can actually have
you're gonna leave when the pain level is at a 10. You're gonna return, the pain level is gonna be at a 20. Let me tell you why. Because
don't be going long enough
because you left her in her pain to fend for herself, which is exactly what happened to you as a little boy.
Right.
And but look what it created in you. Not saying that you're not a wonderful man.
I'm not leaving forever. I'll be back when you calmed. I mean, because I don't want to say it.
Right. You can say calm down to me. I'm emotionally intelligent. I can take it.
When things are a little bit more chill, because otherwise, like you said, it's going to be stuff all over the house.
And be honest about this answer.
Always.
How, when you've left, obviously you've done, this is your norm, you've done this all your life. When you've left for long enough to come back, how many times have you and that particular individual had the same damn argument over and over again? That wasn't the last time y'all had that.
I don't know if this is a trick or this is manipulation, but if you stay gone long enough, they get worried about you. and then they happy to see you when daddy's home.
Right. Okay, but that's also.
But all you gotta have is a pizza and some donuts in your hand.
That's in the moment though, baby. Later on in that relationship,
then we can talk.
But y'all have revisited that same issue
because we have to resolve.
Because there's no resolve.
But there's no one's enraged in that moment because time heals most wounds.
Let me tell you why.
Now understand, cause there's a couple of things that's wrong with this, right? There's no therapist in this world that will actively call somebody a little boy to their face, because they know that that's not the accurate way to get the information that you need out of that person, right? That's actively belittling the person, right? And as a therapist, your whole thing is to accurately obtain information, right? And to help work that person through whatever it is they need to work through, right? Rather it be trauma, rather be abandonment, rather be mental breakdown, depression, right? So how is it when in the whole point of, you know, the very first, I'd say 2 to 3 therapy sessions is to accurately assess the patient first. You don't go straight into the blase. You ask assessing questions first, right? You assess how their mental is you assess what possible symptoms that they can have to lead them into, so you know how to accurately pinpoint which way you want the therapy section to go in order to help this person the most to understand what it is they're doing, and so you can work on how to change the dynamic in their thinking or their actions or blah 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 blah. Right now, this is 17 minutes into this motherfucker. Right, there is none of this shit going on, but she's brazen enough to not on just on one occasion, but 3, to keep calling him a little boy. Like, on multiple occasions, attacked his character. Right? This is not therapy. This is not counseling. This is not counseling. Even if you want to call it an intervention, right? When people hold an intervention, right, you get all the people who matters the most to that person, right? She is not a person that matters the most to that person, right? And they accurately say what it is that person did, right? And how it is to influence them in their life, and how it is that what it is you're doing or what you're saying is impacting their life, right? But you want them to be as close as you as possible, right? So nothing that she's doing at this particular moment, right, is called in therapy, counseling, or the intervention. All I'm seeing right now is her testing this man mental intelligence. All I'm doing is seeing her and testing his emotional intelligence, and the fact that he's still keeping frame, right? And he laughing off, and he's laughing off all of the disrespect, right? This man got the statues of stoicism that Nick Cannon is providing right now is heavily not talked about in all the fucking videos that I've been watching lately. It's heavily not talked about. Everybody talking about, oh, she read him. This bitch can't. The way that she talking, can't even fucking read a book. Like, let's just be 100% about this shit. Like, nothing that she's saying is going by the book. None of this shit is going by the book. But I digress.
Because feelings cause issues. Feelings cause issues.
Yes.
Feel.
We're gonna go back a little bit.
That is home.
Right, okay, but that's also
But all you gotta have is a pizza,
but that's
some donuts in your
momentarily.
hand.
That's in the moment though, baby. Later on in that relationship,
Then we can talk.
But y'all have revisited that same
because
issue
we have to
because
resolve.
there's no resolve.
But there's no one's enraged in that moment because time heals most wounds.
Let me tell you why. Because feelings cause issues. Feelings cause issues.
Yes.
Feelings cause issues.
Absolutely.
Not emotions.
Okay.
2 different things.
Break that down.
So, you know the culture term, you and your.
Now watch how dumb this shit is right here. This is the actual point that I literally, because you're trying to say feelings and emotions aren't one of the same. Let's hear her out. Because that's what you just said. Feelings and emotions are not one and the same. So let's hear it out.
Feelings.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
But when I'm sitting in my emotions, I'm feeling.
Right.
So that I can deal.
Absolutely.
We ain't have to wait that long. Now, let me tell y'all a particular thing, okay? So if you given a definition on how 2 words are not the same, right? You can, and if you cannot how can I put it? Like how she just said, feelings. Hold on, let's go back.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
But when I'm sitting in my emotions, I'm feeling.
Right.
When she's feeling her emotions, she's feeling. How is emotion and feelings are not the same then? You're trying to tell me that one of these things is not like the other, right? You're telling me feelings and emotions are not the same. Yet you're telling me when you're in your emotions, you're feeling. How is that not the same? That's different when I say about faithfulness, right, and loyalty. It's different, right? Because you can have loyalty without faithfulness, but in order to access faithfulness, you need loyalty first, right? It's not one and the same, right? But in order to feel, if I can't tell you the definition of feeling without using the word emotions, they're the same thing. If I can't use the word emotions without the word feelings, that means that they're the same thing. If you cannot accurately tell me the definition of one of these words, and if you cannot pry them out of the definition of each other, that means they're the same thing. How is you sitting here trying to tell this man that feelings and emotions are two different things, but yet you're having a conversation about emotional intelligence, and you clearly don't know what the fuck you're talking about? Please help me understand how is this woman trying to have a therapy session when she's don't know the right route to go about the questions, when she don't know that words have meanings, because she definitely ain't fucking using them right. How? So I want y'all to know, like, when we say black people need therapy, it's not this type of therapy. Please do not go to, if a person that you're going to is giving you shit like this, don't go to it. Don't go to it.
So that I can deal.
Absolutely.
And so that I can heal.
Yeah.
And
emotions are more than just feelings.
Right. And so if I am emotionally intelligent, which is mental health.
Yes.
And you and I or we or whoever you're with are taking the initiatives to become better within their mental, because mental health is subjective. We talked about this. Mental health is not just a diagnosis in the DSM. Mental health is very subjective. Mental health is if something is causing you impairment, then that is a mental health issue. It doesn't have to be a diagnosis. It doesn't have to be depression. If it's causing an impairment and your mental health is skewed, you have a mental health issue at that moment.
Because we've been throwing that mental health.
First thing first. Again, words have meanings, right? So if something is having a mental impairment on you, right, that means it can accurately be diagnosed, and that means you're actively in the beginning stage of something that's more serious, right? So while it might not be straight up depression, you can't be walking your ass towards depression. Like, that's still able to be diagnosable. Like, what the fuck is she talking about? Why is it that we as black people cannot understand that words got meaning? Why? But I fucking digress, man.
Word around very easily nowadays, but to that point to where you just defined it, you know, because sometimes it feels like a label and it discredits people, and then sometimes it feels like an excuse. But to what you're saying is like if it causes an impairment.
Right. Now I want to go back to this little argument. If you got two
I got a question, y'all. I got a question. Right? I got a question. Okay? If there's something that's happening to you physically, that's physically impairing one of your body parts, right? Is that not classified as a disability at that point in time? Are you not, let's say, right? Let's say you sprain, or let's say you torn, right, a ligament within your wrist, right, and you can no longer use this fucking hand. And let's say you so happen to work at a fucking oil rig, right? Are you not physically impaired to work active duty at that point? Right? It's not broken. You're not disabled, but you cannot work until that bitch healed. Right? Why is we sitting here? Y'all understand what I'm saying? How can you sit here and say that is not a part of mental health, right? Just because it's not diagnosed, like you ain't walking your ass over there. Like if you go to work with this fucked up wrist of yours with a sprained ligament in it, right? Your whole shit is gonna be irreparable. and that will cause you to be disabled, right? You will no longer have access to use this hand like the way you supposed to, right? That's the same way as fucking mental impairment too. Like, why is we sitting here? This is why I always say words have meanings. We need to stop sitting here listening to motherfuckers who is using words for their own fucking agenda. This is what I mean, bro. This is exactly what I mean. But I digress.
Abandoned people.
Yes.
In this situation.
Yeah.
And one flees, which is abandonment. Now I'm abandoned because you fleed me.
Right.
So you're causing more impairment.
But I'll be back.
But it doesn't matter. You're causing more impairment.
Right.
Who abandoned you when you were young?
Everyone.
Okay, are they back? Have they came back?
Yeah.
Oh, but you still reap the repercussions of their abandonment, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't make it okay. You're still having to deal with that shit now, even though they returned and they came back.
Yeah.
It doesn't make them coming back atone for what the impact or the impairment they caused or you engulfed in because of that experience. So when you leave...
But it made me stronger.
In what ways?
It made me be able to deal with
what?
Abandonment,
No,
with
you're
detachment.
still not dealing with abandonment.
No, because now I've learned to be like, okay.
And deal with what? Because if you're fleeing, you're not dealing with your emotion.
No, because I understand there's a reason and season.
I hate when women do that little touch thing, like they making a point. You didn't make a point, because the whole part of me leaving is for me to get my emotion intact and for you to get your emotion intact, so that we can come back to a situation and handle it properly. That's the whole point of leaving the fucking situation instead of escalating it. That's the whole purpose of it. The literal whole purpose of it. Literally. I digress. Keep going.
Reason for multiple things. So if I'm gonna give you the time and the space that you need, and we'll handle it when we handle it. And it's not in my hands. I give it to the higher power. I give it to the Lord, and He's gonna figure it out.
Every relationship's a direct reflection of who we are.
Absolutely.
We see in others who we are, not who they are.
Yeah.
Okay, so like with you, only because I'm in a place of not perfect at all, of meaning healing. I've done this healing work. It's been years. I maintain it. I do it every day.
Right.
It's literally a lifestyle. Otherwise, I can go back to my dysfunctional norms and nobody's safe there. Okay, not even me, not even here. So I say that to say, when I'm looking at you, right? We see in others who we are, not who they are. I see a man who is extremely broken, who has taken his brokenness and made the best of it, who has made many decisions that he feels that was great and contributed to a greatness of a big moving part of his life, but also contributed to some demise of a big part of his life, who is now trying to figure out, how do I take these moving parts and make them a collective whole? Because I'm feeling a lot of brokenness and division and a lot of stuff that's going on. However, I see a man who at the core is a great man, has great character, wants to be better, wants to have better character, wants to show up for people better, wants to be the best father he could be, trying to figure out how he can do that, still figuring out a sense of self, stands on his square, stands on business, sometimes too much to where standing on that business can mess some things up. So what I'm saying is, all those things I said I see in you are just the things that are really in me, because I can't see past myself. Okay. Right. And so when you're in a relationship and you're in this hostile argument or a calm argument and you decide to get up and walk out, you're not fleeing from what you keep saying is the argument or her anger. You're fleeing from the reflection of yourself. So when we think that we're fleeing from this conversation of what you're saying to me, I'm fleeing from the very best thing that I need, which is reflecting to me.
Okay, I have to process the bullshit a little bit. So we all know when I say, once you put your dick into a female, or once a female get dick inserted in her, right? When one sex becomes sex, right? When intercourse become intercourse, right? That person then become a reflection of you. I always said that. I will always forever say that, right? Cool beans. Now, she was trying to convince Nick Cannon that the fact that he leaves the situation in order for the situation to calm down, that's not emotional intelligence because you're abandoning the situation and blah blah blah, right? But she just said that the fact that the female would be upset at that time, hostily upset, is a reflection of him, right? So why would he not take a break and give his reflection time to actually reflect and calm down so they can have a constructive conversation? Make this shit make sense to me. Make this shit make sense. Alright, so look, y'all. This is gonna be my last little 2 cents. I swear to God. It's gonna be my last little 2 cents. Because it's only so much stupidity I can take. Especially when coming from a standpoint of, oh, I'm trying to help somebody, right? Like, it's important that we understand how things move and in conjunction with each other, right? There's certain things that can be meshed into a compound, right? Certain things that can be meshed in a compound, but some shit just sits on top of each other, right? There's words that are direct synonyms for a reason, right? There's words that are synonyms for a direct reason. You have diseases that attack different as different bacteria shaped, right? But they induce the same symptoms, right? That's laying on top of each other, right? So you can have multiple diseases layers on top of each other, rather be mental, physical, or genital, whatever, right? You can have multiple on top of each other. Those do not compound, right? You can actively take one off one by one, right? But there's certain things that compounds together, right? And the fact that we still do not understand how all of this works, right? Despite the fact that a lot of us been using the English language for over 40 fucking years, is astounding to me, right? Because last time I checked, Nick Cannon is well over his 40s, and I pray that I hope that therapist isn't over 40. Because if you've been doing this for more than 20-something years, there's an issue. There's a real problem if you've been doing this for this long and you still don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Man, look. That's why I say black people need help. We need help, and we need the appropriate help. Every help isn't good help. Every help isn't good help. Just like every job isn't a good job. Just like every child isn't a good child. Just like fucking every sexual encounter you're gonna have is not a good sexual encounter. Like, let's stop over. Man, it's your boy KP. I appreciate y'all for sitting here listening, and watching and actively participating in this episode of Uncommon Opinion. Leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Comment things that you like, comment things you dislike. Let me know where you feel like I was off at. Let me know what you feel like I was on point with. You feel me? But yeah, I appreciate y'all.
I'm trying to make me some cash. I wake up and secure the bag. If I could pay to get rid